Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh and this is Aditya, and today we are going to give you our take on Avengers Endgame.
So Avengers Endgame is a movie which records a hardcore MCU fans for having watched the previous 21 movies, while also having enough action, story and pomp to leave even the casual moviegoer enthralled.
Now this movie gives a proper ending to the entire original Avengers team while also setting up for future MCU movies.
Before we get to what happens in the movie, Infinity War left us in a state of shock, right?
Yes, it did.
I mean, we all thought Captain America or Iron Man was going to die. I mean, that was a logical thing to do.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, everyone else died. And Captain America and Iron Man were still there. So now, this movie starts off right at the end of Infinity War, with the Avengers trying to find Thanos and Tony being stuck in space. Captain Marvel rescues Tony, but he refuses to help the Avengers when they do actually find Thanos.
The Avengers plan to collect all the stones and reverse Thanos' snap.
Well, I don't get the concept of how these stones work. I mean, does only a snap work? What if I do a clap? What if Thanos clapped? What would have happened
Well,
then?
that's not for us to decide. Let's get back to the point.
What if I'm one of those people who can't do a snap?
No,
Let's
let's get back to the topic.
Okay, let's get back to the topic.
The Avengers, for their shock, find out that Thanos has already destroyed all the stones, and Thor finally goes for the head. From here, we jump 5 years into the future.
So everybody is trying to come to terms with the effects of the snap. Captain America has started a support group to help people who lost their loved ones in the snap. Widow has started her own team to monitor the various threats that are still present there. And then Banner has somehow managed to control the Hulk or something. The Hulk is now a professor who is doing mathematical equation. I don't know.
Kind of weird if you see. I do not like it personally. I like the original Hulk, which smashes everything in its way.
I mean, this is a very famous storyline in the comics, I know. But this is not the Hulk we know from these movies. Hulk is supposed to smash. And then we have another person to get back to. Tony. So where is Tony?
Tony is busy with this pepper.
Yes, Tony has taken it upon himself to reverse the effects of the snap. He has a family now and is leading a pretty normal life. All of this changes when AntMan, who was supposed to have died in the snap, comes back and greets the Avengers at their doorstep. He says he has a plan to reverse the effects of the snap.
Now they plan on going into different timelines and collecting all the stones to reverse the snap. But this is when things get tricky. They introduce a new concept of time travel, which is like completely new to the movie universe.
I watched enough sci-fi movies to know that when you go to the past to change something, the future also changes.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a convenient plot device used to erase mistakes in previous movies.
Like X-Men.
But in this movie, changing past events does not change the future. It creates an alternate timeline in which I don't think I need to explain this. I mean, it's going to give us more questions than answers.
So we'll get back to the review. The jump to the past gives us a lot many nostalgic moments like the Battle of New York. And we also get to see a lot many screw-ups too.
I mean, Loki stealing the Tesseract is pure gold. Loki and the Tesseract. Still a better love story than Twilight.
Oh. We also get a few heartwarming moments like when Tony meets his father, Thor reunites with his mother, and all of that. They finally manage to get off the stones and reverse the act of the snap. But in this, they make a mistake.
A pretty big mistake.
They get a Thanos from a different timeline to their timeline, which is completely a no-no.
Now this leads to a truly mesmerizing fight sequence with Thor, Captain America and Iron Man facing off against Thanos. I do not have enough words to describe how amazing this scene is. I mean, Captain America with his shield, Thor wielding both Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and Tony just being Tony is all this fanboy could have asked for.
Thanos manages to hold them off for quite some time, but then we get an epic scene, which deep down everyone knew would happen. It's that Captain America is worthy! But Thanos is not someone who would shy away from a fight, so he brings in his entire army.
Now we often get to see large CGI fights at the end of such big budget movies. But the sheer epicness and magnitude of this scene leaves one spellbound. I mean, I was jumping in excitement when all the heroes were coming in. I mean, you have to watch this scene to understand how brilliant it is.
Thanos somehow manages to get hold of the gauntlet, and Tony, being the intellectual that he is, uses his sleight of hand to do a quick switcheroo and uses the stones to snap away Thanos and his army. But this is too much for Tony to handle, and he dies. Moment of silence. Okay, we're cool. Captain America takes all the stones and puts them back into their respective timeline, and then chooses to live off with Peggy for some reason.
I mean, this creates a lot of different timelines according to the concept of this movie, and it's very irritating, but we're not going to see Captain America again.
Exactly.
So we don't care what happens with the story anymore. He grows old for some reason too. Nobody knows why. There was huge pressure on the Russos to deliver a perfect ending for this epic saga. And they came in, all guns blazing. I mean, this is not an easy thing to do. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones.
Ooh.
On further investigation, we can find a lot of plot holes in this movie. But the fact of the matter is, I left the theater mesmerized by this movie's brilliance. And that is the experience I want from a movie. So this one is an amazing movie in my books.
Well, that was it for today. Our review on Avengers Endgame. Hope you all liked it. Please hit the like button if you did. Share this video with your friends and support us by subscribing.